NBA is one of the best paid leagues in the world of sports. Every year, contracts get bigger, average players get paid more, and as NBA fans, we can only roll our eyes and think, how did that player get that contract? But not everyone gets paid what he deserves. The league is full of gems in every position. Good players that are looking for a new chance or had a bad reputation in their old team. Hello everyone, I'm Purple Prince, and today we are looking at 7 very good NBA players who make less than 10 million per year playing basketball. On this list, I won't include players on rookie contracts or players who are on their last legs. Let's start. Rajon Rondo is one of the best pure passers in NBA history. His vision is great, and he always gets his teammates involved. In large part, that is because he's not a good shooter himself, but great passing point guards have always been a necessity in today's NBA. Rondo is a one-time champion, a 4-time NBA All-Star, and has led the league in assists 3 times. He was also once regarded as one of the best defenders at his position. Last year, Rondo played for the New Orleans Pelicans and was great. In just 26 minutes per game, he averaged 8.2 assists and 4 rebounds as a point guard. He was a very important piece of the Pelicans' success, but here he finds himself again on a new team this year. His last 2 contracts were 1-year deals for $3 and $3.3 million, and now he's playing for the Lakers on a 1-year deal worth $9 million. That's quite a raise, but considering how important he can be for a team with his defense and playmaking ability, $9 million seems too little for a 32-year-old player still capable of delivering. The next one on the list is Lou Williams. Lou Williams had a great season last year. After Chris Paul left and Blake Griffin got traded, Lou Williams had to take on a bigger role on offense, and boy did he ever. He ended up having his best season to date, averaging more than 22 points per game. He even was close to making NBA All-Star game, but he made up for it by winning the NBA 6th Man of the Year award for the 2nd time in his career. Since 2008, Lou has never averaged less than double-digit points for a season, which is a great accomplishment for a bench player. But that's the problem here. He's a bench player, and he's always been treated like that. He also doesn't play too much defense. At just 31 years old, Lou Williams is one of the best offensive weapons in the game. But nonetheless, in the last 5 years, he's been on 5 teams. Williams wanted security, which is why he signed a 3-year $24 million deal with the Clippers to stay in Los Angeles. It's safe to say that Clippers won the deal hands down. It's not easy to sign a 20+ points per game scorer for only $8 million per season. Let's move to big men. Dwight Howard has been labeled as a coach killer, bad locker room guy, and a diva. Everyone forgets though that he's averaged a double-double for every season in his career. Howard is an 8-time NBA All-Star, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time NBA Rebounding Leader, and 2-time NBA Blocks Leader. Last year for Charlotte, Dwight Howard averaged 16.6 points and 12.5 rebounds per game, which is nothing to sneeze at. Yes, Howard is 32, and he isn't the defensive monster he used to be in Orlando, but he's still a very good defensive presence. Howard has struggled staying healthy, and most notably, it's his back that's doing the biggest damage to his body. In fact, he hasn't yet played for the Wizards, who are definitely struggling to grab rebounds without him. Piling up injuries is never a good thing, but one would think that a double-double machine and a very good center just coming off such a good and healthy season would deserve more than 2 years and $11 million he got from the Washington Wizards. Another one is DeMarcus Cousins. The basketball world was blown up when DeMarcus Cousins signed with the Golden State Warriors, completing their quest for a 5 All-Star starting lineup. At just 28 years of age, DeMarcus Cousins has already been a 4-time All-Star. Cousins has averaged more than 22 points per game for 7 consecutive seasons, and last year with the New Orleans Pelicans, he had averages of 25.2 points and 12.9 rebounds before suffering a devastating injury. DeMarcus Cousins doesn't have the best reputation among the coaches, but the key here is the injury. How does a 270-pound guy come back from a devastating Achilles injury? We have seen much lighter guys come back and not being the same. There are no guarantees that he will ever be the same, and that's what scared off a lot of teams to sign Cousins. It was clear that Cousins was looking for a max money deal, but injury ruined his plans. Golden State Warriors gave him a one-year deal worth $5.3 million, and while the one-year part of this deal is fair considering the seriousness of the injury, the amount of money he will make next year is very small for one of the best big men in the game. Patrick Beverley is a great example for players who don't have as much of a God-given skill but still hope to play in the NBA. The start of his NBA career was rather complicated, but he proved his worth as a 3-and-D point guard and fought his way into the Houston Rockets starting lineup. Beverley will never be mistaken as a top echelon point guard, but he's a defensive nightmare for opposing point guards and someone who can make a big shot if needed. His career averages don't scream the guy to get paid, but Beverley does the things you don't usually see on the box score. He gave Lonzo Ball more than he could handle in his first NBA game, and he's been a quality point guard in the league for years. Last year, in a Chris Paul trade, Beverley was sent to the Clippers, where he managed to play in only 11 games because of a knee injury. The jury is still out on Beverley. How will he look this season after arthroscopic meniscus repair and a microfracture procedure on his right knee? Will he be effective? When he will be fully healthy? We will be able to answer that question as the season goes on, but in the age where lesser point guards are getting double the money, Beverley seems severely undervalued with his $5.5 million salary he's getting from the Clippers this year. Another big man on this list is Brook Lopez. For a long time, Brook Lopez was the face of the worst team in the league. For the first 4 years of his career as a New Jersey Net and later as a Brooklyn Net, Brook Lopez was the best offensive weapon on his team. As a regular 20 points per game scorer, he never could lift the team to any success. Even when he was teammates with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce and Jason Terry, or Darren Williams and Joe Johnson, Lopez just never was great enough to help the team win. Last year, he was a part of a new Lakers squad, and since the main goal of the team was young player development, he was never used to his full potential. Lopez ended up having the worst year of his career, with averages of 13 points and 4 rebounds, and that has been the problem for his whole career. Brook Lopez is more of a finesse player, and for a 7 feet tall player, he's just an average rebounder, and also not a good defender for his size. But if his twin brother Robin Lopez, with much less offensive skills and approximately the same rebounding numbers, can get almost $14 million per year from the Chicago Bulls, it seems that Brook Lopez got a very under-the-market contract in his $3.3 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. And the last one on this list is Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel must be kicking himself right now. In 2017, Dallas Mavericks offered Noel a 4-year $70 million contract. Noel's agent rejected the offer, and at that time it seemed like a good decision. Lesser players were receiving bigger contracts, and Noel decided to bet on himself and possibly receive a max contract offer down the road. Everything didn't turn out so great for Nerlens Noel though. Noel was frequently injured, and as a form of punishment, he also got less playing time on the Dallas Mavericks roster. Last year, Nerlens Noel played in only 30 games, started 6 of them, and averaged only 4.4 points and 5.6 rebounds in 15 minutes of action. The per game numbers look bad, but per 36-minute numbers don't look so awful. Similar to Dwight Howard, Nerlens Noel is more of a defensive big guy who doesn't have a polished offensive game, but he can still be a great contributor with his shot blocking ability and defensive rotations. This summer, Nerlens Noel signed a 2-year minimum salary deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder to prove that he's still a valuable asset to the team. I'm sure he will do just that, and he is only 24 years old, so he has a lot more quality years left in his NBA career. However, it's crazy to think that right now he could have been making 10 times more money for playing basketball if he wouldn't have turned down the Mavs offer. He's young, he still has time, but $1.7 million, even for a still developing center, is way too little. Thanks for watching, guys. Do you disagree with any of the players I mentioned in the video? Can you name other players who are underpaid? I know you know some players that are overpaid. Whatever your thought is, leave a comment below, like this video, and subscribe for future NBA content. This was Purple Prince, and I'm out.
Suicidal thoughts, call it Kurt Cobain.